We need to elevate and up our game. The executive and the president alone cannot succeed in fighting galamsey. We need the judiciary to stand side by side in solidarity.
Hey, Haruna looks very nice.
Find any good evidence of any public official or politician involved in it. My Lord, don't hesitate to exercise that gavel and punish adequately.
The Lands Minister, Emmanuel Amakofiboa, disclosed that 1,200 tractors are currently being tracked as part of efforts to clamp down on illegal mining activities.
We are reforming the Mining and Mining Act 2008 Act 703. And I'm very happy to say that we've already made a lot of progress, and we intend to forward that to cabinets in the very early next year. So far, we are proud to say that 1,200 of excavators are now being tracked and geofenced, and we'll continue to do that.
At the launch of the annual Chief Justice Mentorship Program 2025, Justice Gabriel Poamang emphasized the urgent need to protect Ghana's land and water bodies from degradation. He confirmed that 3 courts will be established to oversee state-related cases.
We in the judiciary on this occasion would want to restate our commitment to support the fight against environmental degradation, to support the fight against illegal mining in particular, and also deepen our efforts in collaboration with the executive and parliament to enforce the laws. The judiciary, under the leadership of the Chief Justice, His Lordship Justice Bafu Boni, have already allocated 3 High Court judges, and they are being refurbished to specifically deal with cases coming from the NIMOS, that is the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations, and also other related matters of the state, which is to recover properties of the state which have been lost.
Government continues to strengthen its interventions in the fight against galamsey.
Now, the Minister of Labour, Jobs, Employment, Dr. Rashid Pelpo, has issued a strong warning to employers who abuse the rights of workers, cautioning them to desist or face legal sanctions. He gave the warning during a tour of selected factories within the Accra industrial area.
The minister's first port of call was Promasidor Company Limited, where he engaged management and staff of the company. The visit was aimed at assessing sanitation conditions, promoting decent work standards, and ensuring the protection of workers' rights. The tour also formed part of efforts by government to identify ways to support industries in line with the proposed 24-hour economy policy. The sector minister later visited Funmilk Limited, where he inspected working conditions, workplace safety measures, and overall welfare of workers. After the tour, Dr. Rashid Pelpo underscored the importance of effective safety mechanisms within the work environment to protect employees.
Factories that we have gone to see, how safe it is working there, the safety conditions there, the comfort of workers according to the labor law, and how much we can expect still out of them. What jobs are there? How many Ghanaians are engaged? Is there a possibility of engaging more? And what can we do to increase their capacity to engage more?
However, the minister expressed concern over persistent reports of some employers abusing the rights of workers. He stressed that government will not hesitate to apply appropriate sanctions against companies found culpable.
That situation reported to me was bad. Workers are engaged for several months. There's no letter telling them their conditions of service or even whether they are engaged or not. And they have complained to the TUC. The TUC got involved, and they are now saying, workers, go home. We don't want you anymore. It can't happen in this country. I'm just sending a signal to them. You can't do that to the workers. Engage them, give them their letters, make sure they are properly engaged. But it is when they insist in doing the wrong that we may have to go to court. We want organizations to work here, to feel comfortable working in Ghana, to stay here and grow.
Samuel here, and the Atiwa East District Chief Executive Ernest Owusun team, who was recently convicted for contempt by the Koforidua High Court, has clarified that the case before the court concerns a land ownership dispute and not illegal activities, as has been widely reported. He insists that the matter has been misconstrued and misrepresented in public discourse. He addressed the media earlier yesterday.
The issue with regards to the court is about land. You wonder how a state will give about 30 hectares, 60 hectares of a community to an individual. And that's the challenge, and that's what we are just fighting. But I know it's okay. When you decide to take, town by town, you analyze it, you realize that the only challenge have to do with proper supervision. The central government is doing well. Normally, they will constitute a team, a military team like the 9 months that we are having now. But I realize that the soldiers, they will come and they will leave. But when they leave, who will supervise the gains that they have made? So I put together a team and then a task force as well that have to ensure that we supervise the activities of the miners in the district. So ideally, we were able to convince them for them to know that this is your town, you need to protect your land. Those who have come to mine, if you decide to protect them, then it means that you are trying to put the future of the community into danger. So they were able to help us, and we are able to identify every hole and the people that caused that the destruction.
Now, stakeholders in Ghana's education sector are calling for urgent reforms in the financing of public education to ensure quality and equality across levels. Now, the 2025 Education Financing Conference examined key education policies, analyzed the 2026 education budget, assessed TVET financing, and explored innovative approaches to funding education. There's more in this News Desk report.
The conference, organized by EdWatch with support from Oxfam and ActionAid Ghana, reflects growing concerns about underfunding in critical education subsectors, particularly TVET, which plays a key role in youth employment and skills development. Executive Director of Africa Education Watch, EdWatch, Kofi Asare, said despite its importance to skills development and youth employment, the TVET subsector continues to suffer from inadequate and inconsistent funding.
Boarding facilities are not in good shape. Digital infrastructure deficits, fiscal infrastructure deficits, and also deficits in practical learning. So if we don't invest in TVET, invest in a practical component of TVET, especially materials and supplies required for practical training and workplace experience learning, we are going to have a situation where about 70% of our TVET training in Ghana becomes theory and only 30% is practical. And we are there.
Executive Director of Global Info Analysis, Musa Dankwa, underscored that stronger collaboration between government and the private sector will help mobilize additional resources, improve infrastructure, and enhance efficiency in the delivery of education services.
It allows the private sector to invest in the schools, buildings, or the lecture halls, or the accommodation. And then the government takes, say, 10, 20, 15 years to pay off that investment. And also the PPPs ensure that we're able to deliver the projects quickly and fast than traditional government procurement.
Participants say that achieving quality and equitable education in Ghana will require strong political commitment, innovative financing models, and sustained collaboration among government, civil society, and development partners.
Now, the government of Ghana has deployed a contingent of 54 soldiers to Jamaica as part of an international support mission aimed at assisting the country's rebuilding efforts. Speaking to the soldiers before their departure, President John Mahama said, aside from deploying soldiers and officers, Ghana is also providing temporary tent and food items.
According to officials, the deployment forms part of Ghana's commitment to regional and global solidarity Particularly in times Jamaica stands in need after Hurricane Melissa, the soldiers drawn from the Ghana Armed Forces 48 engineers are expected to provide technical, logistic and operational support to ongoing rebuilding initiatives. The Foreign Minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa says the mission underscores Ghana's growing role in international peacekeeping and humanitarian assistance.
We all do know that Hurricane Melissa has wreaked a lot of havoc. Over 40 Jamaicans have died. Analysts say that the destruction is in excess of 8.8 billion United States dollars. His Excellency, the President, in addition to the humanitarian support sent, has decided that today we need to deploy our troops following a request formally made by the Prime Minister of Jamaica.
President John Dramani Mahama charged the troops to conduct themselves well.
Ghana has consistently stood for international solidarity, humanitarian assistance, and global responsibility. Our nation understands the pain of natural disasters and the long road to recovery. Today's mission reinforces Ghana's commitment to humanitarian response, disaster recovery and reconstruction, and South-South cooperation, Pan-African and Afro-Caribbean solidarity. I commend the Ghana Armed Forces for their professionalism, for their discipline, and their readiness to serve not only at home, but anywhere in the world duty calls.
The Chief of the Defense Staff, Lieutenant General William Ejapon, expressed confidence that the deployed personnel will excel. The specific of the assignment will be determined in coordination with Jamaican authorities and relevant international partners. On October 27, Hurricane Melissa made landfall on Jamaica as the most powerful ever to directly impact on the island. It displaced 90,000 people, killed at least 45, and damaged infrastructure worth more than $113 million. Joseph Armstrong, Gold Alibi TV3, Accra.
Meanwhile, the minority in Parliament has strongly criticized the government for deploying troops to Benin and Jamaica without parliamentary approval, saying the decision was misguided. The caucus says there are domestic crises that should have received utmost priority and not a public stunt on the global stage. Christian Yale reports.
The minority leader on the floor of Parliament questioned the deployment of relief items to Jamaica, stating that there are some domestic challenges that should have been first prioritized. He then demanded urgent answers from the foreign minister on the details of Ghana's mission in Jamaica.
I think that the major policy decision like this must receive at least the blessings of Parliament. It cannot be that the members of Parliament would have to be reading this in the news. And when we have ministers who are first to come and signal us we have serious disasters, the recent flooding in the country, we know that people have been calling for relief. NADMO has been telling us that they don't have stock. When you do not have enough to feed your own at home, doing international charity will require a curious concern.
Ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee, John Ntimfojo, also described the deployment of troops to Benin as a misguided decision.
When they sought to buy helicopters, they had to consult Parliament. So how come when you want to deploy troops to Benin, you do not consult Parliament? When you want to deploy troops to Jamaica, you do not consult Parliament. What are they hiding within this process? Sending troops to Benin, we need to understand which protocols under which this deployment is going to be undertaken, how many troops are going to be sent, how long this operation is going to be undertaken, and what is the cost to the state. They are misplaced priority, and we cannot watch on unconcerned for the taxpayers' money to be misused in very misguided deployments.
Now, he says charity begins at home, and so he wants government to channel security effort into dealing with the Boko, Beniyiri, and Galamsey issues.
Rather chose to show force in Accra, where people are going about their peaceful endeavors. You rather chose to show force in front of Supreme Court and Accra High Court. Look at the situation in Boko. Even after the Otumfuo mediation, things are still not calmed. And we are still urgent calm in Boko. If you want to show force, we have Galamsey sites, endemic Galamsey sites that in broad daylight are chasing military, NIMOS. They are chasing them, they are running after their lives. If you want to show force and to show the might of your security apparatus, you go to such areas.
Still on this, the Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa has responded to the concerns of the minority, stating that the country has historically provided aid to countries that required such assistance. He explained that the decision was based on humanitarian grounds, emphasizing no wrongdoing.
Honorable members of this August House, these enhanced and consequential humanitarian gestures were deliberate expressions of Ghana's diplomatic identity and values. In a global environment marked by increasing humanitarian needs and diminishing international attention, Ghana's actions carry significant moral and diplomatic weight. They signal Ghana's refusal to be indifferent to suffering and its determination to remain a responsible and compassionate actor on the international stage. Such actions also serve to strengthen our bilateral relations, reinforce mutual trust, and enhance Ghana's standing within multilateral fora. By aligning humanitarian assistance with diplomatic engagement, Ghana demonstrates its foreign policy is both principled and pragmatic. It's rooted in values of empathy, solidarity, brotherhood, and compassion, while being attentive to global realities. Right Honourable Speaker, as humanitarian crises continue to challenge the international community, Ghana remains resolute in its commitment to act where it can to make a meaningful difference. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs will continue to work towards strengthening Ghana's capacity for timely humanitarian response, deepening partnerships with international and regional actors, and ensuring that solidarity remains a defining feature of our foreign policy. Right Honourable Speaker, honourable members, Ghana's humanitarian assistance since 7 January 2025 reflects who we are as a nation: principled, humane, caring, and responsible. In extending support to Palestine, to Cuba, to Jamaica, and to Sudan, Ghana has reaffirmed its belief that solidarity is not optional and that empathy is an essential instrument of diplomacy.
Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa responding to criticism from the minority in Parliament. That's all for the morning news here on New Day on TV3. My name is Beatrice Edu. Thank you so much for joining us today. Do stay with us on New Day.
Charlie, switch to Beatrice. That's right. Eddie Joy. Charlie, they feel it too much. In the country. Charlie, oh no, hey. Charlie, we want to put you in the mood, eh? You can see our Christmas gift. We'll open the Christmas gift on Christmas Day. Right? So whoever will be here, I'm sure Cookie and the rest will be here. They'll open it and we'll get to see what's in it. Shadrach, is something inside? Please lower the song. The white people, please show the boxes. Hurry up, show the boxes. The white people, when they have boxes like this in the house or wherever, there's something inside that they open on Christmas Day.
Yes, I thought on the eve of Christmas.
Okay.
Yes.
Eve of Christmas. Mademoiselle, Chapin, why are you? Merci. So they open the boxes on. So for example, they will open the box like the way the box is. White people. So this one is even not heavy, not a prop. So Shadrach Abe is our lead producer. We expect that there'll be things in this box. We'll open it on Christmas Day. Let's not just copy the whites wrongly. We are copying them well. So we'll open these boxes. If there are watches, we'll give them out and things. Or this is not sanctioned by the editorial team. It's not sanctioned. Anyway, welcome to the show, wherever you find yourself. We're grateful that you've joined us. It's another day, 7 days to Christmas.
Yes.
All right, 7 days to Christmas.
To Christmas, yes.
Yeah. So please make sure that you are part of the Christmas with us. All right. So we're giving you a cash out gift. There's going to be a massive mega jackpot for Christmas as well, and it's going to go with the short code *439#.
Yes, as always. And of course, for that jackpot, the number will be different. But for today, we're giving you 10,000 Ghana cedis, 10,000 to 10 individuals, and you dial *439#. You follow the prompt. You pick number 2, which is your favorite platform right here, TV3, and you get the chance of winning 1,000 cedis. Today is Thursday. Get to that 1,000, add it to your weekend money, and then you're good to go. Yes.
Fantastic. So today we also want to encourage you to tell us what you'll be doing for Christmas as well, how you're preparing. You know, already the traffic is piling up right here in Accra. So please, if you're in one of the towns and cities, please let us know how you're preparing for Christmas. So we're starting 7 days to Christmas with myself and Beatrice. We're matching our clothing with the colors. So this is burgundy. So we're in burgundy clothes. This one is by Ellis Couture. This one is by Eddie Joy's boutique. They are located in
Dansoman on the La Road and East Legon.
Oh,
yes, and you can always find them @EddieJoy_closet.
Charlie, you kill me too much. Fantastic. This one. All right. So please welcome to the show, Chairman Godwin Tamaklo, great man. He's the Group Chief Executive for the Rates Group, as well as Chairman Prosper, great man as well. Dr. Salifu Combat of the National Health Insurance Authority, Upper East Region. Wish you all the best for the day. Edmond Combat is with the Tema Oil Refinery, and all those who tend to watch us, including Jane Ampofiduku of Cape Coast. And everybody else around, we're grateful. We have Randashal.
He said, the were here, he mentioned Godwin Chairman, Godwin Tamaklo.
Oh, yesterday somebody said that if I was there.
Myself and Cookie.
Okay, yeah. So those who tend to watch us, we're grateful. Chairman Rich's Kukoti, and then everybody else, we're grateful. What do we have on the bill?
Yes.
I've been today we have a special interview with the Foreign Affairs Minister.
Yes, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa.
Yes, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. So we'll be asking him some pertinent questions.
Yes.
But I think maybe we can ask our viewers what questions they want to ask Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, the Honourable Minister for Foreign Affairs.
Yes, and of course, aside from that, I'm sure yesterday you monitored what happened in Parliament. The government withdrawing the lithium.
Yeah.
And the minority.
I saw Pakusi Shando, who is the media relations person for the ministry, going around defending and saying that there's nothing untoward about it.
Yeah, and the minority criticizing the government, accusing it of being inconsistent. So we'll look into that, as well as the Okada law, as we call it. You know, the Parliament passed the Okada bill as the Road Traffic Amendment Bill 2025. And we understand the president is yet to assent to it, but already there are concerns as regards how institutions related to the transport sector would ensure the safety on our roads, with a lot more motorbikes expected to be sharing the same route with us. So we'll look into that as well, yes.
Well, certainly. So we'll see how that goes. For me, I'm particularly excited about the Okada thing because it brings some level of sanity.
You think so?
It's a growing problem. And so in my early years of journalism, I remember I visited Togo and Benin, and they were well at hand. And that's close to 20 years ago.
And they've got the lanes. They are very disciplined. I drove through Togo and Benin myself, and I didn't drive. Somebody was driving. But
Mademoiselle, Chopin. Oh, Charlie, fantastic. You went through there.
Yeah, I went through there.
And you saw how organized they were.
Yes, extremely organized. They were not competing with vehicles on the road. So hopefully, gradually, we get there with this bill coming in. Yes.
The problem we always have with all laws or regulations is the lack of enforcement. And we're hoping that we can enforce this, because now it's become a means of transport. It means that we need to adequately ensure that those who tend to patronize that means of transport, whether for commercial or for domestic or their own private use, obey regulations.
Indeed.
And it also means that we have to create the necessary maybe infrastructure for them. So you have a bike lane or etc. So that people
and that was actually what the roads committee of Parliament actually recommended, that in future road projects, there should be something that the government should consider with this thing coming into force. Yes, so hopefully they do that.
No, certainly. And then we have other interactions right here on the show today. So make sure you join us. Let's have some great conversations thereof, because overall there are some things that we need to also talk about. And we'll be taking a look at all that right here on the show.
Last night there was this devastating documentary done by a colleague, Portia Gabo, young boys exploited or being exploited sexually by men. When Boys Cry, the title of that documentary. Hard to watch, really.
Hard to watch. Yeah. Very gruesome, actually. Especially even just retailing. Narrating the story in itself. And we know there's a famous incident of this football academy, where a coach is said to be abusing the young children. And the worst part was that he was filming sometimes those actions. The suggestive actions.
I mean, it's sad. And this is like a global thing. You remember even in US, you had a number of
Catholic
abusing the young girls and those they were supposed to coach. So it's hard to really understand why people who are supposed to be coaching young people end up taking advantage of them and sometimes destroying the future altogether. So that's something we'll be looking into.
So we'll also take a look at that as well. So make sure you join us, take and stay. And so from big issues, we'll bring you the latest sports headlines if we can, or we'll bring you that conversation with the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. And please make sure you take and stay and join us. And for our this morning segment, we're asking you, what question do you want us to ask the Minister for Foreign Affairs? And what do you think he can do better as a minister as well? Or if there are other, perhaps, interest issues of national importance to you, what type of questions do you want us to ask?
Yes.
All right.
When I was a child, I was innocent, and so the innocence was taken away from me at the age of 16 years.
At age 16, this young man had his virginity taken away from him by his teacher. It's a fact that majority of sexual assault victims are abused by someone they know.
He normally asked us to visit him evening time because they were alone there. He asked me to come there alone, so I went there with a basket. Normally when we go there, he used to give us one of his old phones, and the phone is full of pornography. One day when we were coming, he took my basket and we get behind some old block, which is a KG. So we stand there and he started touching me and doing all manner of things. And when I don't get it. So he was trying pushing my trouser out. Push my trouser. So and in that manner, he started pushing me to bend down. And, you know, like, I don't also get it. I say, what is happening? So when we were doing, I saw that, oh, this, when I get to know that this is what you wanted to do. So he pushed me, he sent me to that way. He made me bend down, and that was the first time. And the rest inside his room.
He called me that I should come. When I come and they said that he want to give me the light up. He light up to me. That I should play the game. When I start playing the game, and then he'll make the food for me. When I eat it, and the man said I should come and lie down. When I lie down, I was lying down watching TV, and then he too come and lie down. So he lying down and then he start touching me. So and then when he start touching me, and then I don't know that he just do that, and then he started. He'll give you some drink and then biscuit to be eating, then you will be happy. So the next time when you call, and then at the school you can just do the exam time. The man can just give you the this thing. So I'm laying out so that you will write him.
I was in my, let's say, 10 to 11 years. So my mom used to go to market. So when she's going, she would take me to one sister aside our house. So when she left, the food that she left me, the sister would take all the food. So when I'm hungry, she would be like, there is no food. So I'll be crying. So she take me to a room, naked myself and naked her, and then put me on top of her. So I wasn't know what is going on. So I was just, So it continues like that for like a month. So one day we were inside the room and one sister came in, like, why are you naked and in front of this child? And so, she just finished bathing. And then, since then she stopped. And since then it has been part of me. I try to forget about it, but it's hard for me to forget. It has been part of me for about, let's say, 18 to 20 years now.
Anyway, so you just watched excerpts of that documentary, When Boys Cry, by Portia Gabo. And yes, the numbers are displayed on your screen. Calling, just share your thoughts with us on this, of course. And we told you about also questions that you have for the Foreign Affairs Minister when he does come here for that exclusive interview. But yes, we do have Alhaji on the line already. Good morning to you, Alhaji. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're well. Share with us your thoughts.
Beatrice, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Alhaji. How are you?
Oh, fine. Roland.
That's about.
Nah, Tigia.
Nah, Gambian.
But getting. Nah. Let me send my greetings to Elijah Nasa and Chairman Opoto Ampopo and Dr. Abukar, the head of sanitation agency, water and sanitation agency, and Julius Debra, Chief of Staff and Chief First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Benata Yapo. Roland, I have some questions to ask Honorable Sovereignty before I wrap one. When they say they reduce the passport 5 days, they do follow up to see how the offices operated. They did do the follow up to see how the offices operated. Because sometimes if you go there and you will describe and they will mention some money when you ask them, last time I went to the passport office in Tamale, and they mentioned some different price for me. And I asked myself why. And I asked the guy. So when they say they reduce the prices, and so how can you say I should pay 800 Ghana today? And then sometimes some people have programs. We need to look about this. We don't say we reduce it. When we say we reduce it, people see it in public, saying that they reduce the prices. But when you go to the office, some people do that to do it for us. And they should look about that thing for me. If honorable people just to have that program, just asking that question. But can I start the issue about the Okada? Is it one president, John Dramani Mahama, we understand President John Dramani Mahama, that Okada business, whether we legalize it or we do not legalize it, they have an opinion. So as we legalize it, I think we will go successfully, but we want them to follow the right process to do the work.
Okay.
That's what we want to tell them. And they should look about the process and follow the process well. But if some people have different programs, what is your program today? But let's keep on praying for the country. I think the country can move forward. So let me greet Sami JP, just greet Sami JP from the Lord, Sami JP. And lawyer.
Who? Me, I should greet Sami for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Alhaji, thank you.
Thank you very much, Alhaji.
Alhaji, me, I should greet. Okay.
Thank you so much, Alhaji.
Alhaji, thank you for your contribution.
And for sharing your thoughts with us. We have Haji Alima.
Hey, Haji Alima, how are you?
I'm fine, Mr. O.
Yeah, what's up?
How are you?
Did
you enjoy your meat yesterday?
Yeah, I received the meat.
Thank you for the
very
meat,
much.
yes.
The Christmas meat. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
I was around to receive it at again, so I'm grateful. And the whole team is grateful.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
please
you.
go ahead.
Thank you so much. I'm also grateful for at least, if someone don't love you, the person does not need anything from you.
That's true.
So, for me to promise you and not bring it, and you keep it at mind and ask me, it means you really, really, really like me a lot, and I appreciate that.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
And run.
So thank you so much.
Hajia Alima of Medina constituency.
Morning. Yes, let's say good morning to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his Vice President. And then let me also say good morning to the National Security Coordinator for the good work he's doing for Mother Ghana. The Brigadier General Porcedo of Port and Harbour, the kind of security at port today.
Hey, Hajia, go straight to the point.
Are getting lost. My brother, I want you to ask the foreign minister for me that before we came to power, what we know is that the former president and his government issue a lot of diplomatic passports to people who are not even you can't say, let me say it in three. People who don't deserve to have it. Have they taken all the diplomatic passports from them already? Number one. Number two, about our passports. We learned the passport fees have been reduced. And then now we hear that there is a one-day passport. It is alleged, or me, I don't know. Some people say he said, but I didn't hear it from him. That he said there is a one-day passport that will cost us 2,000 cedis. So please, I want to know, you should clarify that thing for us. Was it true or not? Very, very soon, Hajj pilgrimage is coming on. The passport, when it's time for Hajj, people struggle for passports too much. Under his watch, is he going to give us a specific a unit to take care of the Hajj passport, that there will be no hassle in getting a Hajj passport, because Hajj thing is that in Islam we believe Hajj is a call. So sometimes some people, the call will just come without their knowledge. Maybe someone will just sit down and say, no, let me pay for this old woman or this man. The person is not ready for it, but the time has come for him to go. So you see that when the hard time is due, passport hassle is too much. We are appealing to him that this time around, he should give us a specific people to take care and handle the passports for the Hajj people. Then finally, as my brother said, with the Okada, I'm appealing to the Okada riders. Now that they are legalized, they should also behave as legalized people. They should behave correctly.
Okay.
They should ride with care. They should ride with uniform. They should ride neatly so that nobody will undermine their services.
All right. Thank you, Hajia.
Let me praise my honorable MP for the
thank you,
wonderful
Hajia.
work
Thank you,
he
Hajia.
did.
You had. It's not a greeting request time.
Thank you very much, Hajia, for calling us from Medina. We have Yaya joining us on the phone as well. Good morning to you, Yaya. I hope you're well. Tell us where you're calling us from and what's on your mind.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Thank you for the opportunity given me. This is Yaya calling you from Tema Central. Inside Agri.
Yes, sir.
Sister, now I extend my greeting to my Honorable Haruna Idrisu and my MP for Tema Central, Professor Ali Mohamed. You see, me, I want to emphasize on the passport issue. I want to appeal to our minister. If only they can extend it to the district officers. Because some of the district officers, every time they want passport, they have to come to the regional capital. You only find it difficult to do so. So, especially when it comes to the high camp, anytime that our Muslims want to do a transport, a passport, they have to travel from their village to the regional capital. They only find it difficult. If they can extend the officers so that they can recruit youth into those officers. Most of the officers in the regional capital, they are not at the district there. So because of that, they find it difficult. The youth to engage in camp in state jobs. So I'm also appeal to the government and then all the government bodies who can extend the officers to the district officers, people from the local villages, so that they can also get more on how Ghana is going to develop. Concerned about anything, they have Okada business too. I want to assure to them, I want to tell them that they should help us with this thing. If they can get a high mature level, people, thinking capacity, they should check their thinking ability, their mental ability, before they can take 100 vehicles to do this business. Because once upon a time, one man sitting with a leak. Sister, when the person turned back and gives at me full of alcohol. So I tell him that that's the children, but I also alert here. Because I forgot to say at the back. So he was the time that he was to stop. Sister, in fact, it took him more than 30 minutes for this man to stop because of full of alcohol. So if people are entered into this Okada business, that means a lot of lives will lost again. So I want to appeal to them, those who are drinking alcohol, they should be from entering into the Okada business. And the government should do that and force those who cannot do the work and allow those who can do it to do it well for our American women and for everybody at large. Have a nice day.
Have a wonderful day yourself. Thank you very much. Yes, so as part of the bill, the government is also insisting on reducing alcohol intake among motor riders. Yes, so it's part of it. We have another caller on the line. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Your name, where you're calling us from? Okay, your voice is so low. Would you kindly speak up so we can hear you well? Hello? Okay, I think he's gone. I believe by now there are a lot of messages you've already received, Roland.
Yes. We have a couple of comments coming through. This one is coming from Ibrahim. Ibrahim says, I am in Tamale and the motorbikes are our main means of transport. And so I like it. Now we have an amendment to the Yeah, LI 2180. Or, okay, so that's LI 2180. That's going to make sure that we have proper, okay, that's going to ensure that we have proper regulation of the sector. And then you also add that I was at the 65th anniversary celebration of Ganasco, and there was a promise to build an AstroTurf. I went there yesterday. It's being constructed, and I want to say kudos to the old student of Ganasco, as well as the team that is constructing it. Well, I have to tell you that it's Robert Coleman's Wembley Sports Construction Company that is constructing the AstroTurf as well as the stadia, the mini stadia for the students of Ganasco on their campus. And it was also commissioned, or the sword was cut during the 65th anniversary celebration of Ganasco. Robert Coleman was there, the president, alongside the First Lady, Lodina Mahama. All of them were there. So, Robert Coleman, good morning to you, as well as the project you're undertaking in Ganasco, based on what they wanted, the AstroTurf and the mini stadium. Great work so far. Prince Nani Ayok says, good morning to you and Beatrice. But we have a number of them. This one is coming from Paddy, who is also not happy about the subject matter of the Okada riders and the way they tend to meander their way on the road without respecting basic traffic rules. Well, yeah, sometimes they invite for trouble. And then he says that, well, the Muslims also need to use Ghana card for Hajj to travel. I'm not too sure. Hey, this is why we politics. Okay, Sherry Giovanni. We have another caller, but we'll have one from Sherry Giovanni to the call, and then the next round of messages.
Good morning to you. He's calling us from Pandai. Good morning. Please tell us your name and what's on your mind.
Yeah, good morning, Beatrice and Roland.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm Philip. I'm calling from Pandai.
Yes, Philip.
Okay, I have two topics to discuss about. The first one is yesterday, the government of Ghana deployed 50 plus military personnel to Jamaica to assist in reconstruction of the place. And yesterday in the evening, I saw in the news that the minority group came and were seriously against that project. Why is the minority trying to be relevant to us in this case? Fine, that's your job to criticize, but this one, why do you want to criticize anything that is perceived or that is seen to be good? You don't need, even though Ghana we don't have enough, but you don't need to have a lot to extend assistance to your fellow brother. This one is a very clear sign that we are going to get a good image from the external bodies. That's number one. Number two is in relation to the Pandai re-election. Pandai Info Group, Musa Dankwa's institution.
Global Info Analytics.
And that shows very clearly that NPP has an upper hand. Okay, I'm a member of the NDC. It's very true. Now, what I want the NDC executives, the national executives should know that they deny us of an appointment for our general secretary, our secretary, coincident secretary, by name Young Sabako Robert. They deny us. So the NDC people, we are very, 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 very angry against them. So the national executives should come down and get an appointment for the young man. He has served the party and he is very, 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 very qualified.
Philip, forgive me. Do you have anything to say on the subject of discussion today, which is the boys who are being abused, as well as the Foreign Affairs Minister coming in here and questions for him?
Oh, the Foreign Affairs Minister, Honorable Okulita Blakwa, is an excellent man, which I salute a lot. And I know whatever he's doing is on track. So I don't have anything contrary to what he's doing. It's on track. But what is in my heart is what I've also poured out.
All right.
That the national executive should come down and get an appointment for this young woman, the constituency secretary of Pandai.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Philip, for calling in and for sharing your thoughts with us. So you can also call in. Remember that we're talking about the boys who are being abused. We brought you excerpts of that documentary by my colleague Portia Gabo, and also the Foreign Affairs Minister, that exclusive conversation we're going to have with him on the program this morning. But let me remind you that there's a world-class university right here in Ghana, Rosebank International University, a strong South African university and a brand of the ADV Tech Group, Africa's largest private education provider with 146 schools across 5 African countries and over 100 learners, and partly owned by the World Bank through the IFC. Rosebank International University is fully accredited by the South African Qualifications Authority, the British Accreditation Council, GTEC in Ghana, City Guild UK, and Capsicum Culinary Studio. At Rosebank International University, we offer a Doctor of Business Administration, MBA, Master of Science and Master of Philosophy in Digital Marketing, Bachelor of Supply Chain Management, targeting professionals in freight forwarding, customs and many more. We also offer hospitality and culinary art, available at diploma, undergraduate and postgraduate levels. Our ICT has BSc Information Technology and Business Systems and IT Computer Application Development, all carefully designed to equip you with the skills and qualifications needed for a successful global career. Our mission is simple: inspiring excellence. Admissions are now open for January 2026. Visit our modern campus at Airport Commercial or Pebia House, Accra, or apply online at www.riuc.edu.gh. Rosebank International University, building global citizens. And there's a caller joining us on the phone. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Your name, where you're calling us from?
Thank you very much, Billy. Good morning. Good morning to Roland.
Good morning.
And the entire crew. I just want to use this opportunity to thank TV3 for all that you continue to do for Madagascar. I think TV3 has moved beyond an institution and has become a system where you can only succeed when you come in. You can't fail TV3. I mean, kudos to you guys. Roland, we say thank you so much. Thank you, everybody in TV3. My contribution this morning is not specifically to the topic on board, but I want to say something that is happening in Volta region, specifically who is moving beyond what is being noted for, who is now gearing into such a different direction. Yesterday, the president was here to cast salt or to break ground for the oxygen city that is about to move into construction. And I want to say kudos to our regional minister, Honorable James Gunu, and also our MC, the Honorable Stephen Adom. They are doing yeoman's job, and we are saying kudos to everybody connected to this work, anybody that is connected to this development. We say kudos to them, and to our Honorable Foreign Minister, we say kudos to him. But all I have to tell him is that he should kindly get more connected to the ground. We the grassroots, we need him more. We, the people of Northtown, we need him more. We understand his schedules are very tight now, but we need him more. Thank you very much, Richard, once more for all what you are doing for Mother Ghana.
We need him more, he says. Thank you very much for calling in and for sharing those thoughts with us. There's a message, quick one from Simon Yenwa in the Upper West region. He says, good morning, Beatrice and Roland. The passage of the Okada bill is well thought through, especially that it engages a lot of the Ghanaian youth by way of employment. But like what all other people are saying, the impunity with which the riders float traffic regulations is worrying. They also need a dress code. Majority of the operators dress like armed robbers and almost naked, showing their underwear. They are also always driving in the middle of the road, and when you complain, they insult you, even without regard to your age. The last bit is true, actually. Yes, but thank you very much, Mr.
So you're also a complainant.
No, the way they write, actually, I have a big issue with how they,
They meander, yeah.
Exactly, it's not
They
proper.
think they're smart, but
yeah,
they end up...
It's not proper, yes.
And when they spot something on, especially your side mirror, they have no means of repairing.
Yeah.
The worst is that they even bolt before you can even question them and try to resolve issues. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. This one is coming from Sheikh Abubakar Ali Napar. He's the president, founder, as well as the executive director for the Light Foundation. Good morning to you, Sheikh Ali Abubakar Napar. And he has a message for the foreign minister and says that foreigners are abusing the Ghana card and Ghana's passport, and some of them are using it for wrong reasons abroad. And that leads to some level of discrimination and credibility then for Ghanaians who have genuine Ghanaian passports and Ghana card abroad. And so he's asking that we ask him what measures he'll be taking to control that. And then he said he has a final prayer following the submission of the Otumfuo Mediation Committee report on the Boku conflict, and he's hopeful that peace will be achieved in the area to help develop that part of the country. Sherry Giovanni has a number of comments. Okay, the first one is deleted, so we have a substantive one. A number of questions, he has 3 so far. The following question: have the military deployments to Jamaica and Benin received parliamentary approval, and what's the cost to the state? 2, what benefits therein for Ghana with the deal between her and the United States of America regarding the acceptance of African deportees from the U.S.? 3, how far will the international arrangement of sending Ghanaian workers, such as teachers, nurses, engineers, etc., to other countries? I know there's one on Barbados and things that's been ongoing for some time. On the other hand, the documentary is revealing and so sad. This is the reason Parliament must speed up with the passage of the anti-LGBTQ+ bill to punish some of these crimes to serve as deterrent to other people. And says good morning to Dr. Yao Ajimang Sarkodie of the University of Cape Coast. Sherry Giovanni there with that. And then this one is also coming from Master Planner Junior, Policy Analyst Kintampo. And he has 2 of them. He says Dr. Mahmoud Bamia is doing fantastically well in the Upper East region. It is still possible. Number 3 on the ballot paper. But the substantive issue he has is, my first question to the minister is that why is he still opposed, even though in opposition? He said when President Mahama charters a private jet, he will resign. When is he resigning? Secondly, he said a presidential jet is fit for purpose until 2030, so no need to buy another one in 2024. Why is he now supporting the purchase of a new luxurious jet for the president? Master Planner Junior, Policy Analyst Kintampo.
We have another caller, actually, Sani, on the line. Good morning to you, Sani. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us where you're calling us from today. What's on your mind?
Okay, I'm calling from Wale Wale. And I want to, as usual, greet the good people of Wale Wale. We are peace-loving people. I greet everybody, especially the former regional minister who stood on the ticket of the NDC in 2024, Honorable Abdallah Abubakar. I greet him and to remind His Excellency President Mahama that he's still sitting in the house idly. He doesn't have any work doing, though he sacrificed for the NDC for almost 16 years. He doesn't have a job. They have neglected him. So at least they should try and find something for him to also do so that it will help him and then the party at large. And I also want to greet the MCE for Wale Wale, Rabi Jabbar. In fact, he is doing creditably well. I want to thank him too. And having said that, I want to ask the Minister for Foreign Affairs, in fact, what plans he's having to retrieve the kind of financial loss that our former President Akufo-Addo caused to the good people of this country, because he prioritized, his comfort and then luxury when he used our money and was renting presidential jet for his foreign travels. Meanwhile, our plane, that is the presidential jet, was in good condition. In fact, it was in pristine condition that he could have used, but he failed and said that that plane did not have a shower, and then he wanted to bath on the air. When the pensioner holders were suffering, he spending our money recklessly. So I want him to tell us what plans. He should tell us the cost. What is the total cost that the former president, cost to this country, and how plans that is having to retrieve those money. Secondly, the Manasseh also complained that unless we are able to satisfy our domestic needs, we are not supposed to send our troops outside the country to help other countries like Jamaica and then Benin. I want to find out whether this is true, because I know this is your fault. Because sometimes we also receive support from other countries.
Well, the minister actually responded to it on the floor of Parliament today, saying that it's on humanitarian grounds, and Ghana is known for that. So he addressed that. He addressed the minority on the floor of Parliament. Yes.
Yes, I want him to reiterate that, because some people are still confused. What I know is a humanitarian help that he provided. So he should clarify that for us, that he doesn't have any problem. There's no issue with that, because he also receives support, in that manner from other countries. And those countries, they don't normally, satisfy their people before they do that. So that argument was flawed. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Philip, calling us from Wale Wale. Well, Accra, are you ready? Because this December, the waves, the lights, and the music are calling. The 3FM All-White Party Beach Edition is coming to Labadi Beach Hotel. And this year, we are turning paradise into the biggest December shutdown of 2025. And wait, we're not coming small, because Stoneboy is coming, Kofi Kinata is also coming, and let's just say surprises, more surprise artists are also loading, right? Now, listen, if you want to experience this night the right way, then you need a table. Yes, 3 levels, 3 moods, 1 unforgettable night. Platinum for the ones who don't do average, like Roland. Private space, prestige, premium treatment. Diamond, where luxury meets energy. Gold, bold, vibrant, and right in the heart of the party. Don't wait till it sells out. If you need, or if you and your squad are ready to own the night, call or WhatsApp now 053-220-927 or dial *928*12*12# to book your table. The countdown has begun. 3FM All-White Party, the Beach Edition, where paradise meets the party.
Fantastic. The way you read this thing is very beautiful. Very beautiful.
Which of the tables are you getting? Diamond, gold, platinum, which of them?
The last one.
Gold.
Diamond.
Okay.
Platinum is the
Diamond.
top. Yeah,
Okay.
Shadrach, be careful.
I think more messages.
All right, so I have this very one. Okay, so this one is coming from, it says the National Cross-Border Women Traders Association. Basically, the message is talking about harassment that those who tend to do cross-border trade, so they go to Togo or somewhere to go and bring, or maybe Nigeria, and they tend to face. So they say, ask the foreign minister why it looks like attention is not being put on enforcing the free movement protocols on the ECOWAS corridor. Women traders are harassed, frustrated, and extorted despite use of ECOWAS card, that's the Ghana card, at the Togo-Ghana border. The cross-border women traders have written to the ministry several times to engage since January, yet there's been no response. This is very important.
There's one from Aziz Donla. He says, Aziz Donla from WA, kindly ask the minister how many days or weeks will it take for one to receive his or her passport after applying. Kindly send my regards to my indefatigable, incredibly and highly connected boss, Honorable Rashid Tanko Computer. Well, thank you very much, Aziz Donla, for sending in your message. All right, you're still here on Newday on TV3. When we come back, we'll bring you the big issue plus some more. Do stay with us. And you're still here on Newday on TV3. Welcome to The Big Issue. My name is Beatrice Edu. This morning, we'll be going into that heated conversation that happened in Parliament when the minority called the Lands Minister, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, to resign because the government has been inconsistent when it comes to the lithium agreement from 10%, now reviewing it downwards to 5%, and really the way forward on it. We'll be going into that. And also the legalization of Okada in Ghana. How does the government make it work to ensure that our roads are safer now that these individuals are going to be backed by the law? So we'll be going into all of that. Once again, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Beatrice Edu. Of course, I'm joined in the studio now by Madam Rodelyn Imora-Yana. She's public interest advocate and regular panelist. Good morning to you, ma'am. It's great to have you again.
Always great to be here.
I hope you're well this morning.
I am well.
Of course, we have as well Hajia Gloria Menu, National Women's Organizer with the United Party. Good morning, ma'am. Once again, great to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yes, we'll be joined very shortly as well by Nana Echempim Jantwa. She's a presidential staffer. And of course, via video call by Seth Wolashi, who is a mining consultant, just to have this conversation. Of course, I did tell you we'll be going into the Okada bit as well. So let's really show you a bit, really, of what this whole controversy is about, where we were before that heated argument on the floor of Parliament yesterday. All right, so we'll bring you those details, but perhaps I should, okay, so yes. And yes, so Ghana's lithium deal with Berari DV withdrawn. I just told you that. The commercial discovery was confirmed in 2018. That was in the government of then President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, what they called the Ewoya project. And it was projected in terms of gross revenue to be at $6.6 billion. Again, the life for this project was projected to be 12 years. Previously negotiated royalty rate 10%. Newly revised royalty rate 5%. And the justification for that is that Section 74 of Act 703, which is the Mining Act, sets the royalty rate for all minerals at 5% of the total value of minerals at the mine site. And remember that, like I did tell you, the 10% was negotiated by the then Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government with some 250 million investment promised. And this renewed one, which is the 5%, is what is being proposed by the current government because it is citing Article 74 of the Mining Act 703. Well, the reason the minority says that this is being inconsistent because the government had earlier said that it was okay with everything in that deal. Perhaps I should get your really general thoughts on this back and forth, because this project was actually supposed to start in 2025 and there have been delays and back and forth. And now we have Parliament talking. But perhaps we should listen to the Minister first speak about this.
Currently, the applicable royalty rate for mining operation, including lithium, as you know, he said, as you know, set or stated by law, and what is in the books right now. And let me talk about the history of this amendment that has happened. There was an initial royalty rate of 3 to 6%. It was amended and was stated that royalty will be at 5%. And then there was another amendment that says that it will be by an act as applicable by law. What was missing was that the instrument that should guide that applicable by law was never in place. And so, technically speaking, what you could refer to was the original one, which says that 5%.
And you just watched right there Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, explaining why the country has decided to review the royalties rate, as it were, downwards from 10% as agreed on by the previous government to now 5%. And let's perhaps get a more understanding into this. Seth Wolashime is a mining consultant. He joins us live on the phone. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, good morning, Beatrice, and good morning to your cherished viewers.
In 2023, when the government then signed that agreement with the company, the Australian company, and said that it had tried to negotiate a higher rate for Ghana, a number of people were excited, still people skeptical, accused the then government of the 10% still not being enough. And now we've had the minister telling us that if we look at our laws, it's actually supposed to be 10%. Let me get your reaction to this and your understanding regarding why the government will choose to do this.
I think that, we've gotten to a point in the life of this country that we should get serious with how we do business. The reason why this deal is being cancelled right now is because the price of lithium ore has plummeted down. And I think that the delay in sort of signing this deal has brought us to this point. And literally, it means that we have made a mistake, and a big one at that. So I didn't think we should have gotten here, because when that deal was being signed, I think I was one of the people who said that this was a good thing, and we should. I insisted that there should be some value addition. We don't have to send out even the raw ore like that. We needed to add value and all that. And also possibly even, out of it, create a lithium battery assembly plant or manufacturing plant here. So I think we have really, the ship has sailed, and so we are still at the port.
We have failed at the point. What were you expecting?
Well, I was expecting that immediately they agreed on that royalty payment and all that. I think the total would have been 13 point something. I don't know.
Yes, it was 13%.
Yeah. So I think if that thing was signed long ago, we would have been somewhere by now. Even if the prices begin to fall right from then at least we will still have a project going on.
But you had, and perhaps watched the minister saying that, yes, you might have agreed this in terms of royalties at 10%, but if you look at Act 703, what is permitted is 5%. Let me get your understanding. What do you think about that? How do you react to it?
You see, these negotiations or these agreements are not cast in stone. It's based on what you negotiate. You get what you negotiate for. And so, the past government negotiated 10% plus other things which brought it to 13%. And I think it was okay. But now, because of the drop in the price, the company cannot pay that 10 or 13%, and which has caused it now to be dropped to 5% to possibly make the project viable. So, like I'm saying, hey, the ship has sailed and we are still at the port. We are not on board.
What do you see as the implications of this latest move by the government?
No, it's definitely, if anybody is investing money, they want to make a return on their investment. And so this whole thing is a numbers game. And once these people have done their calculations based on the current price of lithium ore, we have no choice but to lower the royalties for them to be able to make some return on their investment. So I think that is what has happened, and it's unfortunate.
Moving forward, having heard from the minister and, of course, all the concerns that have surrounded this very deal, what would you expect the government and perhaps stakeholders to do to ensure that this is in the interest of the country?
Well, first of all, going forward, any resource that will be found, if they are negotiating royalties and all that, they should also keep in their mind that there must be some processing, value addition done. And if that resource is also, what we call it, a kind of ingredient for the production of something, that we must be able to say that, listen, let's manufacture these things here. Because, these resources has a certain value chain. And included in that value chain is the creation of employment and all that. So we should try and take full advantage of any resource we find, making sure that value is added, and maybe some manufacturing is also sort of done out of that.
The other argument is that you cannot really get much until you have reviewed your Minerals Act and any legislation surrounding how much you're expected to benefit from that. At this stage, how would you want the government to go about this, if this really is relevant for the country?
If that is what it takes, then we must look at our laws again and craft them in a way that will capture all these concerns, so that, going forward, whatever we find, we should be able to maximize whatever the country gets from it. Because I always say that resources were endowed to us by God for us to be able to use them to develop. If we cannot use them to develop, I don't think there's a need for us to even exploit it.
Thank you very much. We'll have to end it here with you, Seth Wolashimi Klaye. He is a mining consultant. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. All right, let me get the thoughts now of Madam Rodelyn Ayana. I'm sure you heard the thoughts of Mr. Wolashimi Klaye. So not excited about where we are now. What do you think?
Let me first and foremost say good morning. I'd like to say good morning to the Bokunaba, Zuguran Naba Asigiri Aburago, Azoka II, and also to say thank you and to thank him also sincerely for his patience, his guidance, and his continuous show of love for the people of Boko. I'd also want to extend warm greetings to the Nairi, the Mampugo overlord, Na Mahami Abdullahi Shiriga, for also exhibiting the same patience. I wish to extend to the people of Boko the greetings and the love, felicitations this Christmas, and also to let them understand that we are one people. Let us all come together and say, let bygones be bygones. Let's live as family. We need peace in Boko. The government has assured us of development. 1 billion cedis, I think, has already been allocated or is expected to be allocated for the development of Boko. On behalf of the women, the children, the widows, the orphans of Boko, I wish to thank the President and the government of Ghana, and also to ask that all of us in the Upper East region, and particularly in Boko, give peace a chance. Beatrice, the lithium deal, from what I understand, within our statute books, they're supposed to have been 5%. That's a default law. It has not changed. But then through negotiations, we got 10%. But the whole thing is, if we got 10%, was that legal? It's the legality of the issue that I'm looking at. Because even if we went through a negotiation that is not legal, then it means that we're going to create a problem. I'm listening to Mr. Clay, Seth, and he's saying that the price of lithium has even plummeted. For me, I wish that we could hold on to these negotiations. We rushed at one time to sell off Obuasi Gold, AGC, Ashanti Gold. We sold it off for peanuts. I think we got $1 or £1 for the whole thing. Look at where gold is today. Look at what we're expecting to get from gold. So if there is no reason, no push, no pressure for us to do this lithium, let us sit and really think through it. And I always want to ask, why is it that our governments always want to go out instead of looking within? Why can't we sometimes have a consortium of Ghanaian businessmen? Because I know that some Ghanaian business people have the money. It is because probably we do not go out there to approach them, to enable them also come in with their money, because a lot of them are keeping the money in foreign banks, which is not benefiting the state. So I think that sometimes some of these things should be discussed. If it means taking it on the stock exchange, let's do that. Let every Ghanaian own something. But this whole idea of always rushing to go and give it to some people for peanuts, I understand when government says maybe we do not have the money to
do that kind of investment.
Yes, it's very intensive. It needs good money. Maybe we don't have it, but collectively, I'm sure we can gather good money. I also think that it's a good project if only we could do it well. It could create jobs. From what I read, about 900 straight jobs and probably more. But let's look at it from the point of view of the Ghanaian. Why do we always give out our natural resource almost for nothing? Why is it that when these things are being discussed, it's kind of like closed door? I think this is a natural resource. It belongs to all of us. Make it open, transparent. Let's all give our views. You understand? Let's all give our views. Lithium is not, apparently, it's one of the rarest...
yes, one of the expensive minerals, yes.
Minerals that we have. So which means that people are always out there looking. Ghana is just blessed, but we are not using our natural resource well. 5%, that's what it says in the books. 10% is what we've negotiated. So can we negotiate for 15%? If we can negotiate for 10%, then we can negotiate for 15% or more.
People feel that it's a failure on our part for refusing to even look at our laws that limit how much we can get. Whilst we were looking at this, we could have also set in motion a process to review our laws.
To review and amend the laws. That's what I'm saying. So from the very onset of that 10%, it was an illegality. So no one can stand and say there was inconsistency. This inconsistency really started with the MPP government, not looking into the laws which said 5% and taking us to 10% without amending the law.
So the inconsistency argument is that you said you were okay with it. Why are you suddenly turning around?
Who said
and
we're okay with it?
That's what the minority is claiming.
Okay. So maybe you handed the documents to me. The minority probably looked at it face value, 10%. Very good for the country. Then you read further. They say always look at the fine prints. You read further. Then you realize that no, within our books, we are entitled to just 5%. So they decide, no, we cannot go ahead with this. Let us delve further. You get me? Probably the mistake was the minority coming out with a new agreement which stated a 5%.
The majority.
The majority,
the
sorry.
yes.
The majority coming out with a 5%. Probably that was wrong. You understand? They should have also taken due diligence to look into the fine prints. But then, if they recognized it and they have withdrawn it because of public outcry, what's the inconsistency? The whole thing is that you performed an illegality by going 10%, when in your books it's supposed to be 5%. So who is wrong?
Let me acknowledge the presence of presidential staffer Nanaya Echampim Jantua. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Please.
So for me, I think that it's good that we withdraw. We do more consultations. And for goodness sake, I don't think that we should give this thing almost for free. I don't believe in this plummeting issue because if it's a rare mineral, if it's meant for batteries, and we know that we are entering into the area of electric cars and whatnot, and we all use batteries of some sort. Yes. You understand? So whatever happens, it is something that is an essential commodity.
What do you, and I'll come to you very shortly, Hajia, for your preliminary thoughts as well. What do you expect from the government? Because I remember when this was signed in 2023, we had IEA, among others, saying that the country was being ripped off. And now it's even gone down further to 5%, per what the government is presenting to the public.
What is in the book? 5% is what the statute book tells us. That is the law that we have set for ourselves. You understand? So the ripping off is because of that law. And the framers of that law, only God knows why they put the 5% there. You understand? So the only thing left is for governments to go back to the drawing board, sit with the Barari, is it?
Yes.
Limited. DV, and then discuss how best we can all have a win-win situation. Because I'm sure they are also going to kind of like feel like, oh, well, we discussed this and now we're going to ask us to pay more, and probably it will not go down well with them. So maybe government should just sit down again, let's renegotiate, let's amend the laws or whatever, if it means bringing out new laws, let's do so that we can get the best out of this lithium bill.
Hajia.
Good morning to my listeners. Good morning to Honorable Alan Kojo-Tremante. Gratefulness to Seriki Ahmed Anin Salim of Busila Muslim community in Accra here. Okay, so for me, withdrawal from this deal is extreme because we can do a reform. There are so many things that can be done, just like the miner who spoke to us online was saying. There can be local processing. We can also have environmental safeguards because we don't want to go back to Galamsey issues when we leave things undone. The legalities of the matter, just like Auntie Rodelyn was saying, should also be looked at. But let's also not forget the fact that Ghana is not the only African country who has lithium. So the more we delay, the more we push the deals to Zimbabwe, the Republic of Congo, Namibia, and the likes. So the earlier we do things, the better, and the right way. The earlier we do things, the better. The deals can also go to these countries and they can have better pricing, long-term supply contracts. The longer we delay, the more harm we cause to ourselves as Ghanaians. If you look at the number of people that are looking forward to getting jobs in Ghana here, when this deal can be signed and most Ghanaian youth can also be employed, I think the withdrawal is too extreme for now. We can just look at reforming, amending the laws, just like Auntie Rodelyn is saying. So proper structures, stronger regulations, and when the higher we aim, targeting maybe just like Rodelyn is saying, we strike the deal for 15%. Back and forth, maybe we'll still come back to the 10.
I'm sure you understand that in such deals, there are clauses that bind both parties. You do not think that perhaps the government is deciding to withdraw because before you can move forward or make changes, perhaps there ought to be that mutual understanding and a win-win situation for both parties?
Yes, a win-win situation for both parties. But the local Ghanaian, the Ghanaian youth has also has to be taken into consideration. We should consider that there are a lot of people in Ghana here that needs jobs. We really need to do the negotiations as soon as possible so that we can get these deals done.
Let me get the thoughts of Nana Jantra. You're welcome again.
Thank you. Good morning.
People, the minority, good morning. The minority thinks that the government is being inconsistent, especially when after this was signed, then Sami Jemfi, I beg your pardon, the communications officer, and now the boss of, at the time, now the boss of Gold Board joined the hundreds of individuals who were criticizing the deal to say that it wasn't in the interest of the country. There was no transparency, there was no clarity. And now this is where we are. We just heard the minister announce no consultation.
Good morning, Beatrice. Good morning to your viewers. Good morning to Ghanaians. Let me say good morning to Otumfuo Pokuwari II, and also thank him for the work he has done for Boko. Greetings to the Nairi and the Boko Naba. We plead that we should let peace reign, as Auntie Rodalyn said, and also watch our utterances going forward. And I congratulate His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for the effort he has put in, and also the fact that he has made sure that there's going to be a fund that would rehabilitate and put Boko back on its feet as a business hub. But beyond that, I also pleading with business people to also try and set up some companies so that the people of Boko and its environs, after this devastating effect, can get some jobs to do. Now to lithium. The day that PRC was called to the Parliament to come and defend our tires was the day that they were talking about the withdrawal of the lithium deal. But as I sat at the back, I asked the question, why don't they also look at the law in tandem with the issues of withdrawal? Why don't they go into the law to see what are in the clauses that has made this deal be the way it is? But the issue is that for me as Nana Champim Jantua, not as governments, I believe there is a need for us to look at these deals very critically, because it is for Ghana and it's for Ghanaians. Most times these businesses that come in to mine our resources take more away than we get. So and sometimes it beats my mind that anybody will tell me that a single businessman, a conglomerate or a consortium has more money than a sovereign state, which has all the minerals, which has all the resources therein. Sometimes it beats my imagination. But I mean, that is what it is. I think going forward, we should critically look at some of these deals that we put together. I think there should be a standard 50% as royalties to Ghana, and the 50% to whoever. How they share it shouldn't be our business. Because you see, when that produce is ours, the raw products is ours, and that a businessman coming in to bring money to mine it, and that person wants to take more than the owner. Do you get me? It is like you have built your house, then the house that you have built, the tenant in there wants to have more rights than you, the owner. Do you get me? So I think that we should look at it. It's not just the withdrawal. We should really go back and look at all laws concerning our resources. We should look at it to ensure that Ghana benefits and Ghana is the winner. This win-win situation, it should be Ghanaians. Because you see, Beatrice, sometimes when they even employ our people, they mistreat them. They don't. You go to our mining communities, what you find there is horrible. Do you get me? So I think that we should really look at it
we should really look at all the laws concerning our natural resources. But I'll also say that going forward, we should have a lot of, the word is, there should be due diligence into some of these contracts. Sometimes they are very big and people just look at maybe the first page, the second page, and if it satisfies them, they leave it. Then you go into, like you see the MPP, when they said that they were going to do one district, one factory, they stood on the platform and said, we are going to build factories. But when you go into the manifesto, it said in tandem with the private sector. But as they stood on the platform, they didn't say that. So this is teaching us that we need to look into the contracts thoroughly. We need to make sure that it benefits Ghana. As we sit around that negotiating table, the first thing that should come into our minds is the fact that I'm doing this for Ghana. I'm not doing this for myself. I'm not doing this for anybody, but I'm doing it to benefit Ghanaians. Because if we get good enough money from the deals, and that the people don't even employ us, whatever we get out of those deals will be good enough for us to also set up factories and some jobs for our people.
So one of the points you made was the need for us to look at our laws.
Yes, it's key.
Yesterday we had a lands minister telling us that, or giving us the reason behind the reduction in the royalties to 5%. Yes, we played that earlier. Yes, but basically telling us that it's been reviewed from 10% to 5%. You talked about the law. This government has been in power for 12 months now.
Yeah.
The government could have looked at the laws rather than coming out to tell us that we are reviewing it downwards to 5%.
You see, the point is that I was telling somebody yesterday, what we met is not easy. The way that this country had been run down. If you are in government, it's like you're on a roller coaster. And you need to make sure that you build blocks, building blocks, foundation. It's as if you are rebuilding the nation. So sometimes some of these things would not come to mind immediately because there are very serious issues in this nation that we have to look at. Serious issues concerning the economy, concerning the management of everything. Do you get me? So this is nitty-gritty, and I thought that maybe the Legal and Constitutional Committee, I think that's the name, in Parliament, should have brought this matter up for us to all deliberate on it, dialogue on it, and speak about it and take an action. Because this more of the legislature, the laws. So I think that they should have come up, and some of the work of the committees in Parliament should also look at reviewing some of the laws that are standing. That if you have a committee and there are laws that pertains to your committee, you should take time and look at it. And bring up proposals so that if there's something has to be done about it, it will be done.
It will be done.
Yes.
Let me get your final thoughts on this before we move on to the Okada conversation.
To me, I think that first and foremost, we may not be able to afford the project as it stands.
Yeah, we should let the lithium be.
So,
I think we need to fix your. Let me. Sorry to cut you, but let me get the quick thoughts of Haja Aminu, and then I'll come back to you.
Okay. So for me, I still stand that we should just look at the laws, just like Nanaya is saying. Look at. Okay, so I still think that we should look at the laws and look into it very well, the legalities of it, or I think communication to Ghanaians will also do us a lot of good. We are looking forward to better deals. Even though we know our president is a listening government, he listens to Ghanaians when we talk. He should make sure that the right thing is done so that everybody will be at peace.
Everybody will be at peace, you say. Let me get your thoughts on the Okada, the legalization of Okada in Ghana, and the number of concerns that people have. Now, the law has been passed. The bill has been passed by Parliament, awaiting presidential assent. people are still expressing concerns that already we have riders, not following rules, traffic regulations, and now we've given them legal backing. What are we going to see on our roads? What are your thoughts?
Yes, so every evening I have a sit by the roadside, and it's very heartbreaking when you see no less than 4 to 5 accidents that has been caused by these Okada men. I used to really like riding the bike all the time, but when I sit and I see the effect of these accidents on people, it's very heartbreaking. I think that before the law was passed, we should have done a few checks here and there. There are a lot of riders who don't use helmets. They use slippers and bathroom slippers on the motorbikes all the time by the roadsides. Since this law has been passed, government should please look at our road constructions from now onwards, so that at least there can be some structures. If you go to Togo, the motor riders have their own pathway and all that. Our motorways and most of the roads in Ghana don't have that. So our president, who is a listening government, should also infrastructure that when it comes to the construction of the roads.
Well, that was something that the Roads Committee in Parliament that looked at the bill recommended as part of its report.
And there should be more education when it comes to motor riding, licensing. Before somebody gets a license to be a commercial Okada rider, or there should be some kind of proper and strict rules and regulations when it comes to the riding, so that we'll have safety by our roadside.
Madam Ayana, let me get your thoughts.
On the Okada?
Yes.
I think that I'm one of those who would have said that, no, I don't think they should be regularized. But it has come to stay. I think that the framework that they have put together for them to belong to a union, to also have certification from DVLA, and to have a dress code, and also certain things to be put in place before it's rolled out. I think that Okada has come to serve a purpose because of the chaotic nature we have on our roads these days, traffic. And if you want to move very fast from one end of the road, town to the other, sometimes you are forced to use Okada. The Okada, we always use Okada for just the motorbikes. But then I think they've been put together with the tricycles and the pragya.
Yes.
Buboya,
yes.
Whatever. Mm-hmm. My only problem is seeing these particular vehicles on our motorways and highways. I think we should stop that. We can't afford to have pragya and tricycle on a motorway.
There was a directive earlier in the previous government, but they still disobeyed.
So it just means that we are not implementing it. But we should stop. We should let them understand that you can't have that. The motorway was built in such a way that, until I think it was when they were doing the Teshidungwa, the beach road, that was when we allowed trotros to even ply on the motorway. Trotros and other transports were not allowed on the motorway, because it's supposed to be a fast lane for fast car and for important things. But we have allowed it. But these days we are seeing this. And then also the way the riders go, we have to educate them. I think that we shouldn't take for granted that they all know how to ride. Yes, you may know how to ride, but you may not know the rules and regulations governing the usage of the roads. So they must also go to school, even if it's for 2 weeks. You understand? To be taught road signs, to be taught courtesy on the roads, the etiquette that you have to exhibit on the road as a rider. Because for some of them, you find some of them being rather very unruly. They don't like discipline. They ride anyhow. And you should also recognize the fact that it's not just Okada riders who ride motorbikes. People also ride motorbikes. They are not using it for commercial purposes. Mm-hmm. Okada is a commercialization of it. So all these things, do people go to learn how to ride? I don't think so. We just pick up and then from our homes and friends we learn. So we should have proper a legal framework, so that we know that when an Okada hits you, a person, insurance, for that person to be able to at least acquire something. Or when they go scratching our cars, hitting our cars, taking off. And the crime that these motorbikes also are used for. We have to be able to, I hope, actually, since the law has been passed, I just hope that they did a lot of work and that we are going to see some of these things in that law. But it's come to stay. It works very well in the rural areas. I would have felt that we should keep it within the city central, moving from Makwala to Tema Station, but not when we find them on our roads. It's sometimes a nuisance, when they go competing with other vehicles and they just are in a hurry to go and let down their passengers, and that creates problems. So I just hope that they will conform to the law. They would respect other road users. They would know which side of the road they are supposed to be on, and maybe that will help, because for now we really do need them.
Indeed.
Yes, we
Nanaya.
do.
Thank you very much. The Okada riders are a necessity, and they can also be a nuisance. You see, the good thing is that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama made this promise to us that Okada riders, the Okada business will be legalized and regulated. And it is always good that we regulate what they do. As part of the law, there's training for them. There's a lot of work that will be done on them. And even the new roads, as Hajia was saying, would have these pathways for the old ones. We cannot rebuild. I wish maybe we could open the sides, the medians.
Well, I spoke with the DVLA acting Director General Abraham Amaliba on Tuesday on Agenda, and he said that road safety. I beg your pardon, road safety, and he said that for now they will have to be sharing the same routes with us.
Yes, and that is where it is a challenge.
It is.
Because you see, apart from training, they also need counseling. Because sometimes the way these Okada drivers behave on the road, you wonder if everything is all right. Because I ask myself, this is your life that you are joking with. Do you get me? So I think there should be also counseling. You should find out the mindset of the people who are riding this Okada. The law has been passed. Congratulations to government. I am in government and I'm happy. But I am also saying that we should look at the people. You get me? Riding the motorbikes. Somebody hasn't got a job. He just takes to riding Okada. What is the mindset? Because if truly you think about yourself, I always tell myself, let's assume that you don't think about the other person. But what about yourself? The way they ride is as if that they have signed a contract with death. The way they ride on our roads, as if they've signed a contract with death. And they don't have there's no consciousness to be safe. And if you see this kind of attitude they exhibit on the roads, has to do with them alone, then you know that it is okay.
When you look at the bill, it talks about the fact that from the 1st of January 2026, the DVLA will now be mandated to issue new number plates to these motor riders. And the number plate, instead of it being issued to the motos, will be issued to the persons. So that when there are flouting of the laws and all of that, or there is people flout the law, they can be held accountable. How do you think that would help to keep sanity on our roads?
You see, the point is that a motor vehicle rides faster than a car. So, for granted, at 37 traffic lights, I'm using myself as an example. I won't use anybody. A motor rider hits my side mirror. And it's hanging. I was mortified because that side mirror is not cheap. And it's gone.
Yeah. Happened to me too.
We need to look at some of the person is gone. I cannot chase it. A policeman was standing there. He was just confused. The motor rider just passed him. Fast. He did not even notice that he has hit somebody's side mirror. That's why I said they need counseling. They should even give them speed limits. And the police should be up and doing. Because in this case, the rules that we have put there, when sometimes you see some of the people riding, or you even speak to them, They don't even understand that what they are doing is wrong. Do you get me? And they are dying like something. They are dying like something. Yesterday, I saw a motor rider with a passenger without a helmet. And if you go to the northern parts of our country, some people can put 3 children on a motorbike without helmets. Do you get me?
Yes.
So we really need to look at this. The law has been passed, is good. It will allow them to have certification. It will allow them to have licenses. It will allow them to be regulated. But beyond that, how do we check their behavior on the roads? And this one, I think that the police has a key role to play. Not to just arrest them, but anybody who flouts the rules will have to be arrested. They shouldn't come under the certificate of vulnerability. That, oh, because you are Okada drivers, they don't like us. No. I think that there should be some discipline. And that's for, now that the law has been passed, I think that we should halt Okada services for maybe a day or 2 days. Get all of them. They have a union. They have an association which will be unionized. Put all of them in a room or in batches. Find counseling for them. Speak to them. Look at their mindset. If you are going for your licensing, there should be somebody there to speak to you to see your mindset if you can write.
We've had reps of that association or the union, saying that the members would be educated and trained so that they know what to do.
They came to my office, I told them, point blank, that the way your members behave on the roads, it is not good. They are hurting themselves and they are hurting other people. I went to one of your stations on a Saturday. I was coming, and a motorbike, a car had just lifted the rider and the bike, and they were under his car. The human being and the bike. The person hits them. It's possible they just crossed the person anyhow. And the guy was driving at very high speed.
So with the human being. Survived?
I don't know whether they survived, but the human being and the bike under his car, will you survive? They are dying, their legs are being cut here and there.
Madam Ayana, let me get your thoughts really on how you think we can make this safe. And I wanted to read just a little bit of this bill, and it's under the justification for the bill, as seen on the report submitted by the Roads Committee of Parliament. The second paragraph says that the amendment to the Road Traffic Act 2004, Act 6A3, and the Road Traffic Regulation 2012, LI 2180 is therefore necessary to enhance road safety, modernize transport operations, and align national standards with emerging global practices. It says the proposed amendment seeks also to reduce the permissible blood alcohol concentration for drivers from 0.08% to Yes, to 0.05% to minimize alcohol-related accidents by strictly limiting alcohol intake, among others. And of course, the other things I talked about, the need for us to have lanes for them and have uniform for them just for safety of the passengers and their respect and all of that.
But uniform does not guarantee safety.
No, but it could link you somewhere, yes. And also the fact that now the number plate will be linked to them, including their numbers and their IDs.
But would they measure them for red?
Yes, that's what. Well, it talks about alcohol here. It didn't mention red here. How do you think this will help with safety on our roads?
No, I think that first and foremost, before they are all issued with whatever licenses or certificates, we should be able to give them the same test that we give to drivers of cars. And also, we should also check for alcohol and drug use. It's important that they are clean, because sometimes the behaviors that they exhibit doesn't makes you think that they are high. So we must check for that as well. Before you get a clean sheet to go and have a license, we should check to see whether you are under any form of influence or if you've been taking any form of drugs. Because when they get on the road, the behavior is such that you just tell yourself, these people are high. And we should avoid that. I also think that we should look at the motorcycles they use. Are they roadworthy?
That's something that they said they would also look at, so
yes.
that they meet the emission level.
And the standards.
Yes.
You see, we're not going to be carrying people. I just lost a friend last week, out of that, just been knocked down by some Okada and he's gone up. So these are some of the things. But I don't understand. I think that what we need is reflective numbers, some unique numbers per person for the uniforms that they are going to wear, so that if it's even a 4-digit or a 3-digit number, we can easily recognize it. Apart from, because if you're going to give them the numbers, I don't know whether it's going to be reflected on their shirts or whatever. We may not be able to get it very fast, but we need they should wear some form of the reflectors with a unique number that you can easily identify. Somehow, I think that this is going to be a test for the Okada unions themselves. They will have to prove themselves, and government must let them understand that if it's not working, then something will definitely break. Yes.
Indeed. Please, let me get your 30-second thoughts on this.
Okay, so as the world is enhancing, IT is the bit of our world now. I think that we should be innovative enough. We should just look at the way Uber and the likes are operating. We have these apps. We should digitalize this Okada system. It's going to be safer, and whenever the rider is moving, you can trace the driver to wherever he or she has gone. So the number plates and doing it individually should be digitalized in such a way that everybody is on a system, maybe on an app. If you're going to book for a ride for Okada, you go on the app and you book it. Wherever the person is dropping you is going to be traced and tracked. So somebody does a mistake, is high, is on alcohol, you will detect that on the app by the way the person is moving, the speed and everything. And individuals have to be responsible as well. If I'm going to ride an Okada and the Okada driver doesn't have a helmet, I should refuse to sit and expect that the person should give me a helmet.
Yes.
I always use Okada, and with my scarf, I still insist on putting on the helmet. Again, we have women who also back their children and they sit on Okada. We have Muslim women who put on their big veil. We have women, especially the Muslim women, we put on our big veils, and it usually causes accidents. We are not taking a look at that. The veils will get stuck to the thighs, and it really causes accidents. So we should be responsible as individuals as well. If you are on a rider and the person parks beyond the zebra crossing, I let him to come back. You are also at risk behind the driver. So our responsibility as individuals should also be looked at. We also have a say. If you see somebody who is riding recklessly and you get to a police barrier or something, you can also alert the policeman.
There should be a toll-free line.
Exactly.
That we can call.
I realize, Madam Ayana, you want to come in briefly.
Yes, I just want to say that all these things we are saying, the group that is responsible for us is the police. The police on our roads.
Yeah.
Because they have to make sure that they check these people.
Indeed.
Now, if the police are in bed with them, and the riders
1 and 5 CDs and 10 CDs
and then let them go, because sometimes you even meet a truck on our roads, no lights, no reflectors, nothing, and the person must have driven in front of a police officer. So unless the police too are made aware, that we will also hold them responsible if we find these people on our roads, sort of driving recklessly or dangerously. At the end of the day, it's the Ghana Police Service that will have to depend
Indeed.
on.
There's a message from Stephen Penwa. Good morning, bitches. The illegality surrounding the previous negotiations will not be allowed to stand. So he's talking about the lithium deal. Ghana has paid too many judgment debts in the past because of such reckless agreements. The current law provides for 5%, nothing more, nothing less. Coming from Stephen Penwa. Musa Abdul Fatah says, TV3, you're doing a great job for Mother Ghana. Thanks. That's on YouTube. Facebook. Bike Uber is what they are using in Thailand, Indonesia, and some Asian countries like Uber cars. And also there is another message coming in from, Bliss Abound says, I saw an Okada rider at Achimota carrying a double-door fridge and maneuvering through the traffic with it. Most of them need serious psychiatric evaluation. Yes, there is.
They need counseling.
Yes, there's Prince Nanaya York says, good morning, Beatrice, and to your panelists. We shouldn't always be in a haste to get foreign companies to be mining every mineral resource discovered in the country. We can secure the resource beneath our own soil and develop the necessary capacity to extract it independently. It's time to hold foreign agreements that offer us mere scraps while we have the potential to reap for greater benefit ourselves. This approach would ensure long-term economic sovereignty and maximize national revenue from our national resources. Moreover, investing in local mining expertise now will create jobs and build a sustainable industry for future generations. Coming from Prince Nanaya York. Thank you for sending in all the numerous messages. And, well, that'll be it for the big issue. Thank you very much. Earlier, we spoke to Seth Wolashime, mining consultant. He joined us on the phone. Thank you for joining us. Nanaya Echampim Jantwa, presidential staffer. Thank you so much for joining us as well. Madam Rotelini Moro Ayana, public interest advocate. It's always great to have you here. Thank you for joining us. And, of course, to you, Hajia Gloria Menu, National Women's Organizer, United Party. Thank you very much for joining us as well. My name is Beatrice Edu. I want to say a big thank you as well to Eddie Joy for my costume. Eddie Joy can be located Dansoman, also at East Legon and on the La Road. Well, if you want to look smart and fashionable, visit any Within boutique nationwide today. Within offers an amazing collection of authentic African fabrics and ready-to-wear that come in beautiful designs and colors for men and women. With Within, you get creative and versatile with your designs. They're confident and, of course, be confident and show off how truly African you are in Within. Go to a Within boutique near you today and choose from a variety of trendy products to complement your unique style. Follow Within Fashion on Facebook, Instagram at Within Fashion and TikTok at Within_fashion, Within Le Créateur. And thank you so much for being with us. My name is Beatrice Edu. We're back with that exclusive interview with the Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. Stay with us.